fire thoughts of Love is Blind Season 4. Going into the pod, I always felt like the season was different than last season just because there was so much more shady behavior. The girls were really catty. And I remember last season, I think there was maybe one couple that was like fighting over the same person. But in this season, okay, there is a lot of that. And that foreshadows a lot of the rest of the season. Like, let's start with these two, okay? I almost feel like for these two girls, it's not really about getting the guy. It's about beating the other girl. It's almost like it's a game to them. Like, they manipulated the other party, the person, their fiance that they were with, to pick them over the other person, basically making them pick the wrong person. And to me, inside the pause, I didn't feel like Zach had this deep emotional connection with Irina. She literally forgot his birthday. This girl made him cupcakes, fresh baked out of the oven. Like, if you're going on a show looking for marriage, aren't you going to pick the person that made you fresh baked cupcakes? That just screams like she cares about my well-being, that she's going to nurture me, she's going to be there emotionally for me when I get home. This does not. And while Zach was not the most good looking out of the bunch, and I don't blame her for not being super physically attracted to him, but what happens next is like really effed up, which solidifies my case about Irina. And the surprising thing is Irina breaks up with Zach like mid-season, and then Zach gets with the original girl, Bliss. I'm actually surprised the producers actually let that happen, because then it just proves that love wasn't blind, right? Because he actually got to see Bliss face to face and then proposed to her. But Bliss girl, why? Why do that to yourself? You always know in the back of your head that you're the second pick. It's going to make you insecure for the rest of your relationship. I just think you can do better. Meets Micah's guy, Paul, and she's super attracted to him. But the problem is, and the effed up part is that Irina and Micah are like literally best friends. If you thought the Colleen Cole situation in the last season was like bad, like this season is 10 times worse. Like, these girls are crossing boundaries. He's being physically affectionate with Paul. He's so dense. He doesn't even understand. And again, I don't even know if she really cares that much about Paul. I think she just wants the validation that Paul will pick her over Micah. I feel like it's a game to her. She likes the flirtation. She's not ready for a commitment. But let's take Irina out of the equation for a second, okay? Micah basically convinces Paul to break up with the other girl, Amber, to be with her. But I don't think he was actually ready to make a choice. And then Micah proceeds to basically spend the rest of the season like flirting with the original guy that she had the connection with. Almost every chance they get, she wants to keep him like hanging on by a thread. Even doing this like basic high schooler stuff where she kind of like puts him down so that way she can get attention from him. And it works too. Here's the same problem with them, right? She was the second pick. In his mind, she was always the second pick. Tiffany and Brett are the golden couple of the season. I think they were the first couple that decided they wanted to be with each other. I think same as Alexa and Brennan. And they do seem quite perfect for each other. They're around the same age. But I noticed they haven't talked about kids yet. And I feel like that's going to be an issue with them. But we're all rooting for them. Kwame even said it that, you know, if they don't survive, we're all going to have aneurysms. Lastly is this like Jackie, Josh, Marshall love triangle, right? Josh is basically the guy that Jackie would pick if she wasn't in the pod. So she decides that she's going to lean more towards a sensitive guy. However, I do think that Jackie has some demons that she has to work out herself. And Marshall wants to uplift her. Well, he kind of called her a project. But I think that for her, that will eventually get on her nerves because maybe she doesn't want to be fixed. Maybe she's going to always feel like the failure of the relationship because Marshall is trying to fix her. And then Josh comes swooping in and he's just basically like, girl, look, if you have doubts about Marshall, pick me. I'm it. But he's not the right guy either. Because guess what, girl? When you're in your little moods and stuff like that, this guy is not going to be the one that sticks around. It's just interesting that this season they have a lot of the other cast members from the pod coming back to episodes. When last season it was kind of straightforward, cut and dry. Like, they picked the people, they went through the experiment, they saw they were going to get married. There's a lot more twists and turns this season. And this is why this season is so interesting to watch. Because mid-season, any of these people can decide that they want to ditch their fiance and go with somebody else. They might not make it to the altar at all.